Good afternoon, everyone. Our topic is about central tendency. What is central tendency? This can take the form of advanced analysis, but it can also start with simple techniques that identify the central point of a given data set, known as central tendency measure. The three primary measures of central tendency are mean, mode, and median, used interchangeably by mistake. Each of these terms has a distinct meaning and method for identifying the central point of a given data set. What is mean? The term most commonly used to describe the midpoint of a data set is the average of set of values, and the easiest central tendency measure to understand is calculated by dividing the sum of all numeric values by the number of observations contained in the sum. Mean. It is useful for describing a data set. The mean can be lightly sensitive to outliers to offset this problem. Statisticians sometimes use the trim mean, which is the mean obtained after removing extreme values of both the high and low band of this data set. We have heard the example. What is the mean for 5 plus 8 plus 3 plus 9 plus 4 equals 29 divided 5 equals 5.8. Another, 2 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1 equals 8 divided 4 equals 2.
Next is the median. Median is the middle number in a sorted ascending or descending list of numbers and can be more descriptive of that dataset than the average. It is the point above and below which half 50% the observed data falls, and so represent the midpoint of the data. The median, therefore, occurs at the position in which exactly half of the data values are above and half are below when arranged in ascending or descending orders. For example, what is the median of the following set of numbers? 19, 89, 84, 80, 77, 70, 70, 59, 55, 33, 32, and 31 and 30. In this small dataset, the median value is 70. Not because that's the average value of the dataset, but because that's the value positioned in the middle of the data. As there are 6 other data points, one either side, 70 is the median value. How is it possible that 70 is the median? How are we going to justify this problem? Let us find in this series of numbers the median. So as you can see, 70 here is being highlighted because as you count the number left to right, you have the same midpoint, that is 6, and 70 is in the middle of it. 70 now is our median. What if there's an even number of data points that cannot be split cleanly as it in the previous example? Take a look in this data set. 70 and 59 here is being highlighted because as you can see in the series of number, it has an even number of data points. The solution of an even numbers of data points is to calculate the average of the two middle points as shown above. The solution for this is we're just going to get 70 and 59, get the sum of these two numbers, and then divide it by 2. The result is 64.5. So 64.5 is our median. Finding the mean and the median can be useful techniques for asking questions and challenging the accuracy of statistical base claim you see reported in the media, advertising, and other studies. At times, it may be convenient for a politician to reference the mean value of middle-class income, but better for his or her political rival to highlight the median value. The mean and median sometimes produce similar results, but in general, the median is a better measure of central tendency than the mean for data that is asymmetrical, as it is less susceptible to outliers and anomalies. As an example, consider the original dataset with one range. You're just going to get the sum of these numbers and divide it to 12. The mean for this dataset is now 128.33, while the median is still 64.5. Here, the median is unaffected by the presence of the first data point, 900, which is greater in value than the other data points combined. Next is the mode. The mode is the data point in the dataset that occurs most frequently. It is an even more straightforward technique than the mean and the median. The effectiveness of the mode can be arbitrary and depends heavily on the composition of the data. The mode, for instance, can be a poor predictor of datasets that do not have a single high number of common discrete outcomes. Aside from the mean and the median, it's one of the three measures of central tendency. Example, a mode or modal value is a value or number that occurs often in a data collection. Let's take a look in these customers' reviews. As you can see, there are 5 stars. So 5 stars occurs most often, then the 4 stars, 3 stars, and the 2 stars. You can directly say 5 star now is our mood. Another is the weighted men. Weighted men is calculated by multiplying the weight or probability associated with a particular event or outcome with its associated quantitative outcome and then summing all the products together. Let us take a look in this particular performance of the learners. We have here the category, we have the homework, the weight is 25, the equivalent grades is 80. For the quiz, that is 30 and the equivalent is 71. From the test, is 10 and then the equivalent grades is 97. For the final exam is 35 and grades is 90. Multiply the numbers and then add. The result is 8,450. Then we're going to divide it by 100. So the result is 85.5. So this is now our weighted. Lastly is the measures of spread. Measures of spread describe how similar or varied the set of observed values are for a particular variable or data item. Thus, it includes the range, the quartiles, and the interquartile range, variance, and the standard deviation. That ends with our report. Thank you for listening and have a nice day, everyone.